March 12th, 2020. Joe here at Simple Life Show. I appreciate everybody for joining me today. Of course, the Dow Jones is down almost 2,000 points. It started at 1,800 or 7.2% down. Had to halt, of course, when it reached the circuit breaker and everything tripped and stopped for 15 minutes. We restarted, went down to 2,100. Now we're sitting around 19. It keeps going back and forth. You'll see this probably all day long. It might go back up, but I think it's just going to have a heart attack all day, going back up and down. But that's just simply because the market and the people who are still involved in the market have no idea what to think about this entire situation. Of course, the majority of the stocks that are taking a hit are the travel-related sites like American Airlines, Carnival Cruises, and so forth, because of the travel restrictions that Trump put out in relations to the majority of the countries that are in Europe. So no one can actually come here from Europe, which is a good thing. We should be distancing ourselves from pretty much everyone. Everyone needs to go into their separate corners, and we need to wait this out until it's over. We also need a lot of assistance with those who are suffering, economically speaking. So we're going to have to go through a lot of economic pain. But if you watched my last video on the Grand Super Cycle, you already knew this. If you know anything about the Grand Super Cycle, you know this is going to be happening. It happens every 90 years or 4 generations. We are in the 4th right now, and this is going to just get worse before it gets better. But it's all about the transfer of wealth and a new beginning and an ending of an age. It's going to get messy, and this is just the hard truth of it. So let's go to the map, and we will look at what is going on right now as far as the official numbers. I know most people are inundated with these numbers, and they're kind of burnt out on them, but they're going to continue to grow. I think, of course, the total confirmed is 127,863 worldwide. The U.S. is sitting at 1323. This is a number that is way off, probably in the order of magnitude of 10, 20, maybe even 100. I believe that at least 1 million people do have it already in this country, and we just simply don't have enough test kits, as there's not enough test kits worldwide to test for this. We need to be spending the money on this to get a better idea of what's going on. I think that we have already reached the 1% threshold in this country, where it is just it's kind of taken off, and there's no way to control it. Those in the CDC and World Health Organizations are admitting as such that they cannot control it at this point. It has to run its course. I've been saying this for a long time. What I really want to talk about was what Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are putting out. It is a community relief proposal for the coronavirus outbreaks. And some are saying, including McConnell, he is saying that this is a bill that is being labeled as an ideological wish list. This brings up 2 important points. The Republicans and the Democrats need to stop fighting about this. There's a lot of different political topics that they can fight about, that they can take all day on if they want. But there needs to be a common goal here, which there is. It's pretty clear to help save not only the economy, but other people as well. Not only their health, but also their economic future as well, because a lot of it is in jeopardy right now due to all of the mass panic out there. I mean, we've seen people hoarding toilet paper and water and all that kind of stuff, but not too many people's hoarding food, which doesn't really make any sense. So I'm not really as worried about it. So I can go out there probably this weekend and stock up on, at least a month or 2 of some non-perishable items. Because consider this, the quarantine zones that are popping up in this country, most recently in Rochelle, in New York, where they are calling that the epicenter. I mean, there really isn't any epicenter. It's a bunch of clusters, and one might be bigger than the other. But these clusters are going to start, combining together, and there's going to be another mass outbreak. But we don't really know what's going on yet because we just simply don't have enough tests. And that's where it all comes down to Congress is spending the money on these things. We have to have proper testing. We have to have social distancing. But I think that we have waited too long while we have been arguing about whether this is actually an issue or not. Now we have created an issue by not worrying about it enough in the get-go. I still see so many Twitter accounts out there. I'm not going to name anybody by name, but some of the ones I'm talking about, where that's all they talk about is how this is just this whole thing is fake, and there's nothing to worry about or anything like that. We have already passed that point where we can't really calm people down. They are freaked out, and everyone is like a scared cat that has had too much caffeine. One of those little dogs, and whenever one of those little yippy dogs that has too much caffeine, that's kind of the American public right now. That does, we don't know really what to do or what to think about this. So we have to have calmer heads and cooler heads prevail. But I think it's long past the point where we can actually really contain this and have it stop anytime soon. It's going to have to run its course. So this bill that was actually put out, it's not a bill, it's actually a proposal. They're supposed to be voting on this, but it's only about a page and a half or so, maybe 2 pages, maybe even 3. I think it's like 2.5 pages. But all this is just common sense type of stuff. Lost wages, paid sick days, loan payment relief. These are the things that we must implement for not only our public, but also the small businesses out there that make up the majority of our economic system. All those small businesses, not just Walmarts and all that other kind of jazz, but a lot of these small businesses that make up the true underbelly of our economy. And the people that are actually out there doing the warehouse work and the manufacturing and so forth and so on. A lot of these companies are being shut down, sending people home or having them work from home. Now, some of these businesses, you can't work from home. You can't do construction from your house, so they are going to be going through some issues as well. And we need to focus all of our effort on that. We need to focus on testing, social distances, and, going forward, making sure that we track down all of the people who have had the contact with other people, because we're not really doing as much tracking right now. So we need to really be doing that. But we're not listening to all of the experts. We're just kind of doing our own thing. And that's what's going to cause a lot more pain in the future. So when I was reading through this, I haven't read every word of it, but a lot of it seems pretty reasonable. We have housing proposals, emergency rental assistance, emergency mortgage assistance, supplemental support for federal housing, making sure people aren't homeless out there, making sure they have a roof over their head, something in their stomach. I mean, is that too much to ask? I know people out there that, make millions of dollars. They could care less. They can care less a lot. I mean, I'm not saying they're all like that, but, when it comes down to it, they only care about their own portfolio. But unfortunately, people are going to be hurting. A lot of rich people are going to be hurting. So what? The economy is going to go through a recession. We might even go into a depression because of this. It is just going to happen. So food security proposals provide new pandemic SNAP authority. Basically, a lot of the SNAP type of restrictions, they want to at least pause that, if not completely stop those. So the government's going to have to spend money. They approved $8.3 billion. Yes, that was a good start. We need to focus on the right things going forward. Halt implementation of SNAP rules, just like I was talking about. Education proposals. Childcare is going to be a big thing as well. Of course, most people, if they can't go to work, they're going to be able to take care of their kids because they won't have anywhere to go, especially if there's a quarantine in place. But it doesn't stop there, obviously. The Chinese are actually doing a propaganda blitz, where they are basically trying to say that the coronavirus did not start in China. And that it's very possible that it could have been started somewhere else. But the problem with that whole argument is that China was very inefficient with how they kind of responded to this whole viral outbreak. They went into denial mode automatically. They went into hiding it, covering it up and all that kind of stuff. And once it kind of just got out of control, then they started taking things seriously. But we don't know whether it just stopped there. I mean, if you look back at this coronavirus map here, we're still sitting at 80,932. We've been sitting at 80,000 something for probably the last week in China. I just don't believe those numbers. I don't believe those numbers when it's literally exploding everywhere. What's China doing? Are they just killing people? I don't know. Are they just not reporting the numbers anymore? Or are they just faking the numbers? The propaganda machine is in full effect now. This is what happens in a lot of communist regimes when they feel like things are getting out of control. Please understand that when the Hong Kong protests when it went into effect and everyone was demanding democracy, China was shaking in its boots. They did not like that. They did not like the uprising. They felt like that might be caused a collapse of the communist state in China. They could not let that virus spread. So, and I'm not going to say that they just intentionally released a virus, because for some reason, this virus is really affecting people with compromised immune systems, and so much really the elderly, but not really the young people. So I don't think this was actually engineered to take out their own people or anything like that. I think it might have been a bioweapon that could have been in development, and it might have just been leaked out. Who knows? Maybe it was just a bat. No one really knows. I mean, you have so many experts out there saying this and that and the other, but we won't know who or what really was, ground zero or patient zero or anything like that. We just really won't know. And we shouldn't really care about that at this point. We should be caring about containing it, and that's it. But the more every day you look at this map, the bigger those clusters are growing. And once we actually have the proper testing, then you'll see everything exploding into tens, maybe hundreds, if not millions of cases going forward. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, or at least try to. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.